finish stronger. What's that about?
Oh, this is about what happens when we deal with another one of the perennial challenges of the modern workplace, which is just like unforeseen obstacles, things you couldn't have planned for just drop in your way. Of course, a global pandemic is a pretty good example of this, but it's what do you do when something bigger than you, out of your control, drops in your path? And what we find is the ordinary contributor, they take responsibility, they take ownership, they get things going, but when something big drops in their way, what they tend to do is they tend to look upward. They look to senior leaders, they escalate issues, they hand off the problem. In these same cases, what the impact players do differently is they don't only take ownership of things, they maintain ownership. They just stay in charge even when it's bigger than them. So what that means is you can't just go it alone, like, okay, I will, this Herculean effort, I'll get it done by myself, sacrifice myself, like on the altar of this problem, cross the finish line and collapse. They get things done all the way done, but they don't do it solo. They get other people working for them. So maybe simply put, it's instead of handing it off to the business owner or the senior VP of the organization, they get the business owner or the senior VP involved. And we all know what it's like to have these people inside our organization. It's the person who doesn't hand it back to you, but then they're like, hey, like Liz, I need you on this. Like, we got a problem here. And they're going to fix it, but they're getting you involved too. They're going to pull your influence in. So they not only finish the job, they finish with the whole organization stronger because we've tackled this obstacle.
Yeah, it reminds me of those group projects in high school where you just kind of took it all on yourself and then you were really resentful. And so this is a very different approach where we're inviting other leaders in because we value what they bring to the table and we rally them to the problem, and that is influence. When you can get the right people in the room to go, we're going to solve this together, and it's not to my credit, this is a team effort. That's great leadership.
And people around them and below them in the organization love following them, but the most senior people do as well, because you think about it, what the difference between someone who works for you handing you a problem versus the person who's going to stay in charge but pull you in. And you love working for that person. You're like, hey, what do you need from me? I got it. You need me to call a customer? You need me to prioritize that? Like, boom, I'm on it because you're on it. You know, it's funny. One of the things I learned in this research, studying the most valuable contributors of the workplace, is that managers really hate managing people. Like nobody really wants to manage anymore. And, we love working with these people who are self-managing. And it's a great deal because no one really wants to be managed anymore. People want to lead. I see this very much as your ticket out of micromanagement to have impact players on your team. Like you get to be a leader.
Gives the team their dignity. Yeah. It gives such dignity to the team when you can empower them and not feel like you're over their shoulder because you don't trust them to do the job that you hired them to do.
Yeah, I really do. I love this word you used. It is this path for dignity for everyone inside of the organization because people don't want to just be a position holder. People want to make a difference, and people want freedom and independence, but not on an independent agenda. I'm going to focus on what's important to this organization and my senior leaders and my clients and my stakeholders. But because I'm pointed at the right target, I can work independently without managers wondering, what am I up to?